muuqaalkeena insha Allah hadii la maanta waxaynu ku baran doonaa sidii ay generational success loo dhisaa haddaad ganacsado tahay haddaad siyaasi tahay haddaad qof mansab sare bulshada ka jooga tahay muuqaalkan aad iyo aad buu kugu muhiim yahay waxaynu ku dul istaagaynaa mid ka mid ah ganacsiyada aan wadankan Mareykanka ku arkay ama nagala soo qayb galaya Baraka Business Expo oo dhacaysa 5 bisha October ka dhacaya gobolka Minnesota waxyaabaha cajiibka aan ku arkay waxa kamid ahaa business kan Halgan waa mid kamid ah dukaanada laga iibsado adeegyada sida hilibka iyo waxyaabaha muslimiintu iibsadaan sidoo kale restaurant baa ku dhex yaala $19 million ama $20 million a year ayay sameeyaan sida Allah subhanahu meeshooda ku taala waa business very successful muddo 8 sanadood soo jiray.
It was the dream of some Middle Eastern immigrants to the Twin Cities.
A tiny grocery store in Delhi.
It all started back in Ramallah. He would go and drive and sell bread. But 1986 was when Holy Land was founded.
Marka business muhiimadiisa kama hadlayo sidee buu successful ku noqday waxyaabaha cajiibka ku arkay waxa kamid ah waa generationkii saddexaad ee hadda loo diyaarinayo inay shaqada businesskaas committed ku noqdaan inay si fiican u shaqeeyaan inay wax soo saaraan inay dhamaantood hard working wada yihiin.
We are working hard for the future of the business.
Everybody in Minnesota is our community.
Marka documentary baan ka soo diyaariyay bal waxaanu ka baran karayno ganacsatadan ganacsigooda soo dhiseen documentary-gu intiisa badan wuxuu noqon doonaa luqadda Englishka bal documentary-gan aan soo daawan.
From day one we decided to consider everybody in the Twin Cities. Unbelievably proud.
Muuqaalkeena waxay sponsor gareeyay Go High Level.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ahla sahla. My name is Ahmed Wadi. I'm one of the children of the owner of the businesses. I'm in charge of the restaurant and day-to-day operation with my brother Mahmoud Wadi. Nice to meet you guys.
70% of your customer is Somali.
Yes, sir.
So how do you understand in Somali?
So at first it was very different and something that I was not used to because I was raised in the Middle East. But as time,
where do you raise?
I was raised in Amman, Jordan, but I'm originally a Palestinian, born blood, you know. But born in America, raised in Amman, Jordan, and studied high school in Amman, Jordan. So when I came from high school and came to United States, of course, we have the family business. I had to work here, you know. It was very fun. I was very excited. It was a different experience because I've never worked in my entire life, you know. So I went from not working every day to working 5 days a week with full-time school. It was very difficult at first because my English wasn't good. So little time by time, we worked on the English. And then we were like, okay, now we need to get a better position in the restaurant.
So you told me that you speak some Somali words.
Yeah, I do. I speak a little bit just because, like I said, 70% of my customers in the restaurant are Somali. I do a lot of nikahs, I do a lot of ceremonies. So I get to sit with the customer and I get to know them on a more intellectual level and like a personal level that we get to know each other, exchange stories.
muuqaalkeena waxay sponsor gareeyay Go High Level. Go High Level waa one of the best marketing CRM loo isticmaalo oo Allahumma sa'aan CRM ahaan loo isticmaalo haddaad business leedahay haddaad rabtid inaad business bilowdid haddaad doonaysid inaad affiliate samaysid haddaad doonaysid wixii oo dhan isaad ku samaysan karaysaa waagii hore waxaa la isticmaali jiray Wix Allahumma sa'aan lacag bay kaa qaadayeen email marketing markaan isticmaalayay email like ConvertKit iyo Mailchimp iyo kuwa la midka lacag badan bay kaa qaadayeen laakiin high level waa all in one WhatsApp marketing baad ku samayn karaysaa email marketing baad ku samayn karaysaa waxyaabo badan oo aad u tiro badan baad ku samayn karaysaa marka insha Allah dila muuqaalo badan oo tutorial oo dhaadheer waan niga soo samayn doonaa wax badan oo waan niga soo samayn doonaa high level inaad Allahumma sa'aan ku dhufataan qof kastoo linkiga iska diiwaan geliya waxay siin doonaan 30 cisho oo free oo ku train karaysid waa saddex qaybood inaad qaybta SaaS-ka qaadatid oo software ahaan adigu aad u iibisid qaybta labaad oo ah inaad agency samaysatid oo proga qaybna waa Allahumma sa'aan waa inaad agency ahaan u samaysatid marka 99ka wax badan baad heli doontaa adoo wadankii jooga ayaad sim card kala samaysan karaysaa Mareykanka iyo dad ku wici karaysid marka siyaaran all in one weeyaan insha Allah hadii ilaahay wax niga soo samayn doonaa muuqaalo tutorial oo wax badan kaga faa'iidi doontaan waa tahay saaxiibayaal hadda waxaan dhex joognaa store-ka gudihiisii store-ka waxay hayaan productyo aad u badan sheekadan wax badan baa iga baxay sheekadan iyo family-kan they are amazing say wuxuu haynayaan say wuxuu dhigayaan
So the way we started the business was my grandpa's father. It all started back in Ramallah, Jerusalem, there in that area region. I was never born there, obviously, but they had a bakery and they would have recipes of hummus, falafel, all these family recipes. When everything happened, the war, I think they moved to Kuwait my grandpa and his kids, which is my father, uncles, etc. From there, my dad decided, you know what? He needs to do something new. He couldn't just stay there because over there you never had an identity. So you were not like, you couldn't be Kuwaiti and you couldn't be, there was no like citizenship, you know? So he decided to go and study abroad. And he ended up in America. He studied in Moorhead. He studied for 7 years, I believe, 7 to 9 years. And he was going to school and working full time. He would work about 80 hours a week between morning, nights, and then he graduated and then he decided to do his own thing. So the family already has the background of bakery, cooking. The grocery wasn't no background, but it ended up coming through time. But he graduated, and after he graduated, he ended up doing the business. The business started in 1986. So he was there in the 80s. He started in the 80s. I think it took him a couple years to graduate. I don't remember exactly the dates, but 1986 was when Holy Land was founded. It was a small corner shop. I'll actually take you there afterwards and show you. We still kept the same original design. So if you go on Central, you see the original design of Holy Land, and then the new design continues. The reason we kept that is to keep the identity and to remember where it all started. There was one business here in Minnesota. I don't know what the name was, but it was called Alibaba, I think. And it was a Middle Eastern store, but my father always wanted to own his business. My father was always wanted to do something. When he was 12 years old, he used to go around and sell newspapers as a child and go work in mechanic shops for pennies, just because he didn't want to stay at home. He wanted to work, you know. So he had that work ethic from when he was young. Obviously, also my uncle, Majdi, he has the same work ethic. So my father's the one who came. He started everything. He's the one who came here in '86, and after 9 years, 1993, Holy Land ended up started to win some awards. We started to get the recognition in the market. When you live in a room with 6 members in one room, one bathroom, and you have to live in the same room, the room has the kitchen, the bathroom, everything, and a small, like square foot smaller than this area, and you had 4 brothers and a daughter, and it's difficult, you know, you want to get out of that. It's poverty. So his dream was always to get out of where he was. So that's why he came here, for the American dream. You know, they would always watch movies, you know, American dream, American dream. That's why they ended up coming here. So he came here 9 years, grinded up. 1994, his brother decides to join forces. Comes from Jordan. His brother's well recognized, accounting, high end. You know, my brother has everything figured out when it comes to marketing, the brand and everything. Somebody comes and ties up the part of the accounting wise, you know. Yes. So once that guy comes, which is Majdi, operations helps comes in, joins with his marketing, his accounting, his business, you know, comes in, brings that extra talent. And then obviously my dad, being a great businessman, sees something, and then they become partners, 50-50, you know, in the business. And from there, Majdi took the lead. My dad was always there, Majdi, they would go back and forth, and from 1994 to about, I think, 2005, when Majdi was there. Majdi, I think it was, I believe, almost 10 years he worked with no day off. It was a lot of sacrifice, family time. We didn't see our parents growing up. Our parents were here. We grew up with mothers, very strong women, mothers that would because the father was working 18, 20 hours a day and 7 days a week. No vacations, no day off. So we would see our fathers at work. And the mother would have to be the mom, the dad, everything at the household. So I believe sacrifice. If you're gonna ask me what got us here, is sacrificing our time. Obviously now we get to enjoy the fruits of the labor and see our family members, get to have more time. It wasn't overnight, brother. It really wasn't. I think the biggest challenge was coming here and fitting in. You know what, you come from a different culture. You know, you're coming here and this is not, when you first come here, obviously I was born here. I was privileged to be born here, and my cousins and brothers. Our family wasn't. They came immigrants. They immigrated to this country for a better life. You know, running a business is not easy, brother. You know, once everybody sees the good part, the customers, the busy. Nobody sees the back end where the accounting, when there was a time Holy Land didn't have enough money to pay their employees checks. First thing that when we were talking about vendors, for instance, like a company that I work with, right? Or a competitor of mine. I would say in Minneapolis, like in the city of Minneapolis, we have Dur, we have Oasis, we have Holy Land, right? So usually in the market, when you have competitor, you compete healthy and you price different pricing and you do certain things to attract different customers, right? They're all in Lake Street. We're here in Minneapolis, right? We have a chance, obviously, to expand, right? And decide to say, go there in Lake Street. Just as an example, I'm throwing that out. But you know what? We decided not to do that, right? Since there's that relationship with these people. Relationship turning into family relationship. So it starts as a business relation, right? Like we were talking about, me and you. Business. We mold it into a family relation.
And customer relationship.
Customer relationship, molding into a family relationship. Molding it into a family. Now our employees, brother, we've had employees that, we just had an employee worked with us probably over 20 years. He just had a serious surgery. He had to be out for 2.5 months. Out. You know what we did? We kept him paying the check going while he's at home. You know, and that's because they believe now if something happens to us, brother, overnight and we need 1,000 people. Hello? You're gonna find the whole central filled with people. Inshallah, I see Holy Land becoming I would say we're already a multi-international, multicultural business, right? We're already there in that aspect. I see Holy Land becoming a staple as in Minnesota, Minneapolis, in the community, becoming maybe I would say, I wouldn't know how to put it, brother. We don't know what would happen in the future, but if what we want to plan, everybody plans, obviously, but Allah is the best planner, right? Our vision is to be able to have either multiple location, inshallah, being able to reach out to more youth, and maybe having a way to either me as a person or Holy Land, maybe show the youth the way. I think that's one of the most important things we're missing right now, is the youth need somebody for them to be able to shadow. And right now it's not available always. Right now it's still not available because we're all invested in the work, right? We're all invested in the building. I mean, it's random. I work 6 days a week usually. During the last period, I work 7 days a week. Now I'm gonna hit 2 to 3 months next month, every day. Right now we're averaging during the state fair about 17 to 18 hours a day work. And this is not just me, brother. This is everybody. This is me, brother Mahmoud, Lian, Ahmed, you know, the entire family, you know, all of us are successful in different areas. Everybody, it's like a tree, you know, there's a branch, right, with branch. So a tree has the roots, right, and the roots have multiple roots, one going left, one going right, one going up and down. If you remove part of the root, the tree starts to die. So it's not if I go or they go, we all are one unit. We're all of us, you know, so we're all in this together. Like to say inshallah, our vision for this company is to grow, and once we grow, brother, we can give out more. Alhamdulillah, I mean, let's see, we've been working with Araha, you know, for the past more than 10 years. We built school in Sudan. We built for the teachers housing. You know, we do a program right now in Holy Land where we sponsor people to graduate from high school and we sponsor their university. So, and building masjids, building wells. And in Gaza, you know, for instance, right now with the current war happening, you know, we're torn with everything that's happening. So We've also contributing there. We're doing, so there's so much. This business is not just for us, it's for the community. Brother, we hope this stays. You know, the only way to do it is to follow what our parents did with us, with our kids. And we've started already with my young brother. I have a brother that's 12 years old. I have a cousin that's 10 years old. You know what, brother, you know how many times we failed on projects? How many times fail after failure after failure? We failed a lot, brother. There was times where we would buy machinery and it would not work. And we have machines in our warehouses thrown that spend thousands of dollars. But how would you know if it's gonna work or not work if you don't try? You know what? I think you have to try. Whatever kind of, if whether you're in the social media industry or you decide to do your own business industry or whatever business is your passion. Our passion is the service. Our passion is the interpersonal relationship. Our passion is to talk to people, to meet people, to maybe inspire somebody, to give out information. That's our passion, brother. And the most important is to be open-minded, right? You're open-minded to the idea of change. So that's what I believe in, brother. And inshallah, one day, brother, I'm 30 now, and me and you are sitting this, and we will remember this day. I believe one day Holy Land will become a success with our efforts. Inshallah, we don't know what's going to happen in the world with everything that's happening. But inshallah, Allah gives us the chance to be able to do this change because we have a responsibility to the youth. And we shouldn't forget this responsibility because one day we're going to need the youth, brother. And if we can't come to terms with that idea, then we will lose everything. Because eventually our parents, Allah, we say in Arabic, Allah yatawil bi'umrak. Somebody's gonna live for a certain age, but nobody knows when he's gonna die, right? So the cycle of life is gonna keep going and the youth are gonna become the adults. So if you don't instill that with the youth, you won't have a recognition, like you don't want the youth to go, oh, now they know Target, Walmart, this. Then we want them to know not just Holy Land, we want them to know the Middle Eastern businesses and this, and grow with these businesses so they don't die out. Because you know how corporations work and what their idea of running a business is, their plans is for them to control the market, right? But our plan is to stay head to head with them. But that's why we have to put in the hour, we have to put in the time, and we have to be dedicated. And it has to be a daily challenge. We take the issue day by day, right? And inshallah, over time, we will get there.
businesskan wuxuu ka soo bilaabmay awowgood baa soo bilaabay oo ka soo bilaabay Ramallah oo magaalo ka mid ah Falastiin ku taala deeto ninkan imika CEO-ga ka ah iyo walaalkii ayaa Allah mas'aan ka baxay waxbarashay wadanka Mareykanka u yimaadeen deeto markay yimaadeen waxay bilaabeen inay waxyaabo yar yar iibiyaan oo grocery ay bilaabaan deeto markay waxyaabo yar iibinayeen sidii u iibinayeen labadoodii baa isku tagay oo waxay yiraahdaan qacmooda jir bay wax ku gooyaan ama Soomaalidu waa tiraahdo walaalo isjecel way xoolo badiyaan deeto markay wax isku darsadeen sidii bay ku soo wadeen muddo hadda 40 sano deet laga joogo businesskooda mid ka mid ah businessyada muslimiinta wadankan Mareykanka ama gobolkan Minnesota iska leeyihiin ugu successfulsan ugu wax soo saarka badan. And the reason why sidaas uu yahay waxa weeyaan because the way collective iyo culture-ka sameeyeen iyo values-ka ay sameeyeen dadkooda la shaqeeya iyo teamkooda iyo ciyaalkooda dhammaantood ka ugu yar ee 12 jirka ilaa ka ugu weyn waxay ka wada shaqeynayaan meesha mid baa shaqo kala soo galay oo isku aragnay meesha security ku jiray shaqo security ku soo shaqeeyay dadka inuu meesha yimaadeen meesha uu ka shaqeeyo marka yaraantoodii iyo ababkoogii iyo sidii loo soo sameynayba waxa lagu soo diyaariyay inay wax kasto iyagu haday telefoon rabaan inay ibsadaan inay shaqeystaan haday wax kala sameeyaan oo inay shaqeystaan haday maxay kala sameeyaan inay shaqeystaan marka u diyaarsan noloshii inteeda badan dhalinyarada waxyaabaha jinsiga ama kuwan dambe ku arko waxa kamid ah inuu himadii iyo dhaqankii shaqo wanaagsan inuu ka tagay marka waxyaabaha inuu ka barayno waxa kamid ah sideeba ubadkaaga loogu barbaariyaa marka mid kamid ah dhalinyaradooda ayaan kulanay oo ku kulanay state fairkii deeto hal maalin loo kala yiri maalinkii baan tagay documentary-ga baan ka soo diyaariyay marka waxyaabaha aad ku muhiimka inuu ka barayno waxa weeyaan inaga waxaad moodaaba in ilmaheena laga ilaalinayo dadkeena Soomaaliyeed inaan ilmaha loo sii deyn inuu shaqeeyo oo nolosha shaqo galo uu nolosha shaqo galo oo hadduu qofku shaqo galo allahu tacaala leeyahay maxaa waxbarashadu tegi weydaa ama xataa u sameyn weyda laakiin waxa ugu muhiimsan inuu nolosha soo guda galo oo yaraanta soo galo oo shaqada barto oo aragtida barto oo dadka la dhaqmo oo kan sameeyo oo hambalnimada barto wax weyn bay ku siinaysaa marka waxyaabaan ka barnay taas baa ka mid ah arrinka labaad ee ka baranayna waxaa ka mid ah fishinkay u diyaariyeen iyo qaabkay ecosystemka u dhiseen muddo 48 sano waqti aad u yar maaha waqti aad u dheer oo wax badan laga baran karaya marka businesskan inahaas bay ahayd waxyaabaaynu ka baranayno see you soon
Inshallah, we will attend the Baraka Business Expo.
barako
Baraka Business Expo.